Good morning, Facebook. Happy Friday. Happy 2019. I have not done a video in a minute, and definitely haven't done one in the new year, so happy 2019. I hope you guys are doing awesome today. I hope that you're in good spirits, and if not, the day ain't over. It can still happen. So, reason I'm getting on here is because, well, one, I just kind of wanted to try and just be a little encouraging, and another thing I just want to speak on because it's just really just bothering just in my stomach is just churning. But I just want to say, for everybody that's like going through stuff, and we're all going through stuff, I don't have to know what it is, to just be encouraged. Just keep moving forward. Like, I could say a whole bunch of different things, but just keep moving forward. Like, you've made it this far. Keep moving forward. No matter what it looks like, just keep pushing forward. Like, it's not over. It's not over. I heard a few weeks ago someone say they had a plaque on their wall that says, if you're going through hell, just keep going. Like, don't stop. Like, keep going. You're going through some stuff. Just keep going. This ain't it. This isn't the end. Keep pushing forward. Everybody has a plan. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has things that they're supposed to be doing, and you know it. And there's a lot of obstacles and things that come up and things that we don't understand, but it's all a plan and a purpose. Just keep moving forward. Like, he got you. It's all right. And I'm saying that to say that to whoever listens to this, and I'm saying that to myself because I need to remind myself constantly, because it just stuff been that tight where it's like you got to keep certain things in your face, otherwise you'll just lose perspective, lose hope, lose momentum, and we can't afford to do that. We just can't. So just encourage you going into the weekend, going into next week will kind of be the official first week of the new year. Everybody back to school, back to work, back to regular stuff. Keep moving forward. So, with that being said, to kind of just switch topics real quick, but I have to speak on this because it's like a multiple level thing, multifaceted thing, and I've been seeing people speak on it, and I'm not speaking on it because other people have been or because it's like the topic of this moment. It's just because it's some things that I know about, have been affected by, know people that have been affected by. So it's a core issue. It's something that strikes a nerve anytime it comes up, This docuseries has been released about surviving R. Kelly and everything. There's so many things I could say or get into or comment on or whatever. I'm going to try to be very specific about what I'm saying. I just felt, not from that, even though watching that definitely made me feel pretty disgusted, but people's response, different people's response to different things and what they were responding to is like, Lord help us. Like, seriously, Lord help us. What is wrong with people? Like, what's wrong? It literally makes me sad because I know for a fact that when things affect you and your family, your perspective on a lot of things change. Bob Marley said it best, and I always use that as a reference. He who feels it knows it, Lord. When you go through things and you experience certain things, there's stuff that you understand on a whole different level that you may not have understood before, or that you may have judged harshly or judged from a very ignorant place and standpoint because you did not understand it. Until you understand it. And God help you if you ever have to be on the other side of having to understand certain things like that. That's not a place you want to be in. Like, Real talk. That's not something you want to have to know and understand all the different dynamics and facets of it on that side when you're talking about domestic abuse, when you're talking about sexual abuse. Those are things you really don't want to have to understand and have firsthand knowledge of it. Trust me when I tell you this. And the reason why I'm just because I understand it. There's things that I know and I understand firsthand knowledge for myself and for people close to me that I know very well. It's not something that you want to have to understand on that level, first and foremost. Second of all, if you don't, it would behoove you to just be like, you know what? Maybe there's certain things I don't understand. Let me find out. Let me get some understanding and knowledge. Let me talk to some people. Maybe there's some things I'm off about to understand. But everybody's so quick to judge and throw out this stuff about, like, you know, this setup thing and this and trying to destroy the black man and all this other. Like, look, I'm for it. I know there's things going on. I know that there's powers that be that are trying to make things seem a certain way to try and, you know, hold, you know, our people up and all. Trust me, I'm all for it. It's not like I'm ignorant of that. But again, if you have firsthand knowledge and understanding of things in this particular area, you know what it looked like. You know exactly what it looks like. You know what it sounds like. You see it. A person's response don't even have to be that great, and you see it and you know it, you recognizes it. You recognize real recognizes real. You see it. So someone who has seen it, someone who has experienced things, you know what it looks like. And you know when somebody's playing games. I know what it looks like. And the people who understand that, when you saw certain things, you know what it looks like. So it resonated with you. It affected you because it's like, okay, it is what it is. It's clear as day, you know. And this whole thing, like, people, another thing I was seeing people say, oh, where are the parents in all of this? And what about, you know, parental guidance? You're trying to blame this person. What about the parents? Da-da-da-da-da. Now, granted, yes, as a child, as a teenager, because you're still a damn child, you don't know nothing. Yes, your parents are supposed to be responsible for you. You're supposed to have somebody that's supposed to guard you. Mind, heart, body, spirit, all of those things. You're supposed to have that person in place. But unfortunately, which we all know, we don't all have that. All of us didn't have that. Or if we had it, some of us had it and didn't have it in the right way. We didn't have somebody to protect us. We didn't have somebody to tell us, look out for ABC. We didn't have somebody who was on our coattails. A lot of these girls, like myself, didn't have a father, didn't have an older brother, didn't have a good father figure to be like, you know, don't be going over there, baby girl. Watch out for that. You know, don't be hanging around them. Didn't have it. And you know what? When you want to, you know, do some research or some stuff, if that's what you choose to do, the psychology and the pathology about behind this stuff, that's what predators do. They look for people in those positions that are weak, that don't have protection, that don't have somebody that's going to be like, not mine, who's going to stop some stuff from happening. They know who they're going after because they're weak. They don't got nobody protecting them. They don't know no better. Their self-esteem ain't there. The knowledge isn't there. They're naive. Plus, at that age, you're naive anyway. Like, you could have a perfect situation. You could have people that are there to protect you and tell you what's right and all that kind of stuff. But you still can get caught up because you're naive. Your brain ain't even fully developed yet. What do you know? You haven't experienced life yet. You haven't been through things yet. So how would you know that this person who presents themselves a certain way and seems like, oh, this is a great person, or this is a teacher, this is a doctor, This is, you know, this artist, all these great things that as at that age, oh wow, I would love that. I want to be that. I want to be around that. Just like all of us did. We all had desires and things. And by the grace of God, maybe different people who haven't experienced that, thank God that you didn't experience that. Thank God you didn't get put in that position where something like that could have happened. But could you have done any better? Could you have done any better? Y'all trying to put responsibility on little kids like they supposed to know better? Are you serious? Like, come on now. Like, you know, things people be saying, it's like, be careful what you're saying, what you're speaking on, what you're putting out there. Because God forbid it be you. God forbid it be your kids, your grandkids, your sister, your aunt. Shoot, your brother, whoever. God forbid it be you. So be careful what you're saying and expecting that these kids are supposed to know better. Since when did any of us know any better as a kid? At 12, 13, 14 years old. I didn't know nothing. Like, not a daggone thing. But I'm supposed to somehow protect myself and know better against an adult? Or, you know, an authority figure? Like, what are we really saying? And it's messed up that maybe they didn't have parents that protected them, that should have protected them. That's very messed up. I don't take away from that. But you know what? Like I said, when you're in that position where you don't have somebody to protect you, or somebody that don't know no better, or their mind is twisted and messed up for whatever reason, that they're not protecting you like they're supposed to. That's how things happen. And it's unfortunate that these things happen, but we got to do better than that. We have to be understanding of these things. We have to have care and compassion for stuff. Instead of being so quick to just be like, oh no, you know, that couldn't have happened, or it's a setup, or all this other kind of stuff. It's just like, I just keep coming back to it. You don't want it to be you. You do not want that to be you. You don't want it to be somebody that you care about in that situation. And like I said, if you've seen it, you know what it looks like. I myself experienced physical abuse. I know people very close to me experienced sexual abuse as a child, as a teenager. It ain't nothing you want to experience. It's not anything you want to have to go through and have firsthand knowledge of. So this idea of like, you know, still trying to blame the people who had the courage to speak up for stuff. Things that I experienced, I'm going to just talk about me. Physical abuse. It was years before I told certain people about it. Like, I was a teenager. I ain't know no better. I'm naive. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out in my own mind. And not wanting to tell certain people. Being ashamed of it. Just feeling like, well, why didn't I know better? Not knowing. It's like, well, how would I have known better? Like, how would you know? Just different circumstances that led me to be in the place where I thought that was okay, or to let it to continue, to think that I didn't deserve better, all those different things. Didn't say anything. There's so many people, you don't say anything. And I can only imagine, this was only with just a regular person. How would a person feel? What type of pressure would a person feel? And maybe just being scared. Just being scared from someone who is in some type of position of authority, or somebody who's known or important. Like, I know how I felt. Can you imagine that times 10? It's like, put yourself in other people's shoes and positions. Maybe you haven't experienced that. Thank God. But if you had, how would you feel about it? How would that affect you? What would be your response? My response at 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know no better. People's responses, people that I know at 15 years old, 14 years old. Like, There's things that you don't see. There's things that you don't understand, that you don't realize, because you're a kid and you're naive and your brain, you don't even understand. You have no knowledge. That's why people older than you are supposed to protect you. And there's people who got wrong intentions who will take advantage of that. And I just really wish that people would just change your perspective, change how you're looking at this stuff. And even if there's some things that maybe you don't understand, because there's a lot of things I don't understand, but I might not be so quick to speak on it, because it's like, what are you really saying? What are you really saying? Like, what type of energy are you really putting out there in this particular area? This ain't okay. Like, it's not okay. Being a woman myself, experiencing things, having a daughter myself, knowing people that I care about who've experienced these things. Like, if you haven't, you have no idea what people go through. Like, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, what people go through, the type of torment that you go through, and the things that you have to work out, and to have the courage to even say something because you're so ashamed, or you're so scared, or you're embarrassed, or, all these different things going on inside yourself that keeps you quiet. That fear that'll keep you quiet. We shouldn't be judging nobody. And I'll say this, if there is, whatever the situation is, because if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, we don't know anything. The people who know are the people who were there, and God. And since you don't know nothing because you wasn't there, it would behoove you, I'll say it again, to not speak on it because you don't know. Because how many situations have you been in personally, whatever it is, this level of stuff or anything else, where people have spoken on you and said, oh no, you don't know what you're talking about, you lying, and you not. And do you know what that feels like? Like, recently, just again to speak on myself, I try to speak for me, I can't speak for nobody else. I had a situation like last week, and I was telling a family member of the person of situations that happened with me and the person that they were related to. And they said I was lying and I was making it up. And I'm like, why would I make that up? Why would I pretend like this happened and it didn't happen? Like, there's no reason to make stuff up, especially when it comes to someone putting you in dangerous situations, when it comes to physical abuse. That ain't nothing to lie on. That's not fun. Like, that's not fun. It's not fun to talk about stuff like that. It's not fun to remember stuff like that. Like, this ain't no joy in that. Ain't no game. This ain't no reality TV show. Like, there's nothing enjoyable about making up something like that, or just concocting some story. That ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? And that, again, this is on I'm a regular person talking to another regular person about another regular person. This ain't nothing on TV. This ain't about nobody you know and no name that you recognize. And that's what happens. People will say that you're lying, that you're making stuff up, because they don't want to believe that somebody that they know and that they care about, or that means something to them, would have the capability of doing things like that. And that's why stuff like this happens. This is why stuff like this continues. This is why people don't say anything for years and years and years, because they come and bring it to somebody, or they tell it and people say, I don't believe you, because they can't wrap their mind around that. And this is why this happens. And this is why stuff like this just makes me so sad, because it's like, this shouldn't be happening. We should be supporting, women and men who've experienced these things, and we should be trying to help them heal. We should be supporting them. We shouldn't be coming up with all these different off the wall reasons and talking about crap that don't matter. Damn some music. I don't care about no daggone music. Yeah, I went through a stage or whatever, just talking about him specifically and other things or whatever. I'm like, so what? So what, you made some songs that I enjoyed back in the day when I was a teenager, and had I been hanging out around some high schools, you might have been trying to get at me. Like, who cares? The devil was in charge of music before he got kicked out of heaven. Let's not forget that. So whatever, that don't matter. I'm concerned about people and their hearts and their spirits, and how people are being broken and taken advantage of. And then when they have the courage to speak on it, which is not easy when you've experienced certain things, we look at them like, oh, nah, you lying. Or maybe you're not lying, but what about this? What? No, look at it for what it is. Call a spade a spade. It is what it is. Like, and there's things that we know. We all know certain things. We've all seen certain things. But for some reason, in this particular area, whether it's about somebody who's known or famous or an authority figure, or just even, it could be somebody close to you, it's like we want to dial that down. We want to, like, get rid of that, like, throw that away, because I understand it's horrible. The idea of it, the ramifications of it is just like, oh my God, it's disgusting. Yes, it is, which is even more of a reason to talk to it and face it head on. You cannot run away from these things. This stuff ain't going away. And it just, it's just been boggling my mind, just people's response to the stuff. And yeah, you could say about him, yeah, that's one person. There's so many people who have done things and affected people's lives, infected people's lives for the rest of their life, where they have to deal with certain things for the rest of their life. And we don't pay attention to the stuff. We don't come out and speak against things. We don't show our support to people. Like, you don't have to know these people on TV. You know people in your own life. I bet you do. We all do. In some shape, form, some capacity, you know somebody. You could be showing them support. You could be showing them love. You can just be being there for them. But people want to sit up here and be talking about on social media about this, that, and the third. No. It's not right. That's why I'm speaking on it. It ain't right. That's just it. It's not right. And we got to do better than that, especially moving forward, because a lot of things that were in the dark is coming to the light, because that's just the nature of things. Everything that's hidden will be revealed eventually. It might take some time, but it's gonna come out. So in one way, I am thankful for that certain things are surfacing, that are coming to light, because all wrongs have to be righted at some point. Some things might take longer than others, but it's gonna have to get right. And as my mother has always said, and a lot of, old school people, it's gonna be hell to pay the captain when this stuff comes to light. It's not gonna be pretty. So I'm going to choose, and I would encourage some other people to choose, not be so quick to speak on certain things. And if you're not sure, do some research, pray, ask questions, whatever you got to do. Be careful before you speak on certain things in certain situations. God forbid it be you. That's just my thing. Everybody gonna have their own thoughts, but ponder that. I would just say ponder that. Maybe have a conversation with a few people, and maybe you'll have a different perspective on things in this area. Maybe it'll change your heart, your spirit. I hope it would. All that being said, y'all have a good Friday, good weekend, good week. Be blessed, stay encouraged, and I'll talk to y'all later.